in. Why? Yes, I apologize. I don't understand this. I always think I'm ready, but then I'm never ready. I'm never ready. Okay. Hello, you guys. Yes, we're here to talk about. Yes, there is some more news in that. We're just gonna call it Diddy election politics moving forward because this is just outstanding, just odd. Okay, but before I start, you know the game, you know the rules. I'm gonna read the fair use copyright. Fair use copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Hello, Art of War. Man, let me pin you, cause you know what, I like that. Yes, Miss Shamrock. Yes. I feel like $1 million. I see you guys here. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Good morning, Art of War. Good morning, Mrs. Shamrock. Thank you guys for coming in. Woo! Yes, my apologies. I was gonna do a live this weekend, and oh, I was supposed to come back on Friday. We just had some issues all over again. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna move forward. Hello, Narendra. Shout out to India. Yes, gonna read the fair use copyright disclaimer. You guys already have an idea what we're going to be talking about. Oh, Diddy. Oh, woo. Trump, of course, Trump. Lots of controversy in both topics. I mean, it's always controversy. But before I move forward, I have to read this disclaimer, especially all this mess going on with Diddy's sons. Yes, we're going to talk about Christian Combs as well as Justin Combs. Yes, they do have they are involved in civil lawsuits of their own. Yes, I don't know if you guys know that, but yes, they are as well. Mrs. Shamrock says, Rue, Diddy been super busy in jail. Woo, Mrs. Shamrock, you on it. You're on it. Before I continue, I have to read. Oops, Diddy again. Yes, I have to read the fair use copyright because I will be playing some recording that I'm not trying to be held liable for anything, and I have to cover myself and cover this channel, this platform, because in the words of a YouTube content creator, I don't have it now, or I ain't got it. Fair use copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use. The tips, the balance in favor of fair use. Yes, I'm reading fast because I got to get on with this Diddy situation. Now, to topics we're going to discuss today. Of course, Diddy got caught again. Trump, we're going to talk about the Trump nominations controversy. Rudy Giuliani, lawyers is free. Thank God. They don't want to see him again. We're going to talk about Robert F. K. Jr. Mental health, and the question of the day: should vaccines be required by law? And today's motivational therapy, we're going to talk about those two quotes, but we're going to move forward with this Diddy situation. Yes, we're going to move forward with this Diddy situation, and I apologize for laughing, but I don't know if you guys were here before, but I'm gonna play a video that I did talk about in a previous live, and now it's all coming together based off of what Diddy's prosecutors are saying he's been doing in jail. Okay, the video that I'm about to play is basically it is not all of it, but it is allegedly a recording of Diddy talking to one of his sons. Okay, I repeat, talking to one of his sons. Mrs. Shamrock says, channel note, all opinions are welcome here. Please be respectful. Yes. Yes, please be respectful. Thank you. So yes, I'm going to play this first video, and it's all coming together. This is a allegedly leaked video of a phone conversation that Diddy had with one of his sons, speaking in code. Okay, and this is one of the topics that the prosecutors have said this past Friday that Diddy has been doing. Okay, so fair use, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Disclaimer, fair use, copyright, section 107.
Left over from the pizza. I need you to get rid of all the leftover.
Oops, sorry. Yes, once again, we're going to rewind. Sorry about that.
You know what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have them out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie.
Now, the video that you just saw, that is a video, that is not all of it, that is some of it. Allegedly, this is one of the recordings that Diddy did, okay, talking to one of his sons in coding, okay, what is pizza boxes, okay, that's just one video, okay, and it's all going to come together. Why? Because now we're going to talk. Okay, according to what has happened in the news recently in regards to Diddy, okay, the prosecutors, they're trying to say he has been trying to corruptly influence witnesses' testimony and taint the jury pool. He has continued to attempt to obstruct federal government's investigation, and the new allegations were revealed in court filing Friday, okay? This past Friday. As federal prosecutors argue, Combs should not be entitled to another bail hearing. And I'm really trying to understand what is really going on, because it seems as if this whole matter is just going out of control. It's going out of control because it seems like nobody is trying to protect themselves. That includes Diddy as well. I feel Diddy is not trying to protect himself, because even with the most recent video, the prosecutors are even using this as evidence. And hello guys, thank you for coming in. I'm going to play. I got to play it. I have to play this most recent video that his children had released, specifically his son Justin Combs had released, okay, wishing Diddy a happy birthday, something so small as wishing his father a happy birthday. And this is one of the videos that the prosecutors are using now against Diddy. This is just ridiculous. Mrs. Shamrock says, how do you crash out while you are in jail? This is what I don't understand. And see, now I'm really trying to figure out, is it because you still think you cannot be touched? You can still control everything around you. This is what is making me think about Diddy. Now I'm going to show this video that the prosecutors are using against Diddy now, and this is one of the things I think that his family and his friends and anybody that is affiliated with Diddy, they need to just back off and just, peace be still. Just be quiet. Don't do anything. Do not put anything in the social media. Why? Because people are coming for you. And I say this because these allegations are just astounding. And this video that I'm about to show you is just proof of how the federal prosecutors are really looking at everybody in Diddy's family and as far as his circle.
Keep going. Happy birthday to Daddy.
Keep going,
Go.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Yeah.
I love y'all so much.
We love you too.
Love you,
I can't wait to see y'all. And I'm just want to be proud of y'all, especially the girls. I mean, strong, and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world. My birthday, I'm happy. Thanks to y'all giving me this call. Thank you very much. I love y'all.
We love you more. Can't wait to see you in a couple of days.
I'll see you in a couple of days. What you say?
I love you, Daddy.
I love you too, baby.
Yo, Pops.
I'm right here.
Chance right here on the phone, too. Pops, love eating all your cake, so you're not going to have none left.
Now, I don't know what's going on. And Mrs. Shamrock, I was reading what you were saying in the comments. Mrs. Shamrock says he is literally giving them evidence, and I'm going to have to pin it. He literally is, because this is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. And I don't approve that the federal prosecutors are using that video that I just showed you, his family wishing him a happy birthday, November the 4th. That is when that video was released and made. Okay, I have it in the description in this video. Okay, this does not make any sense. I mean, at this point, this just proves what. And hello, Rug, big hugs. Thank you for coming in, Rug. And hello, guys, hit that like button. We're talking about, yes, this Diddy mayhem that is going on. Okay, because at this point, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say at this point, because if the federal prosecutors are using a happy birthday video as evidence, Diddy is really in trouble right now. He really is. Now, I'm going to discuss a little bit more, okay? According to the prosecutors, okay, they reviewed recorded calls from the Metropolitan Detention Center, where Diddy has been held ever since September the 17th, okay? They have been reviewing recorded calls, right? And it states Combs has used telephone accounts of at least 8 inmates to allegedly evade monitoring. He paid the inmates through intermediates in violation of the rules, okay? He's used 3-way calls to reach individuals not on an approved contact list. Now, I want people to understand this. The reason they're stating this part, I'm going to highlight, when they said he's used 3-way calls to reach certain individuals not on an approved contact list, we have to go back, and yes, we're going to go back to Diddy's team trying to request for a 4th attempt, okay, of him getting bailed out. And a part of that request, I got to be honest with you guys, I have to show it. A part of that is, and give me one moment, I'm going to show it to you guys. And they are really coming for Diddy at this point. They really, really are. The 4th attempt. Okay, they're supposed to be making a deal this week. They're supposed to be going back to court in regards to the fourth attempt for Diddy to bond out. One of the special conditions that they stated, okay, if they allow and approve of Diddy to get out, okay, with his $50 million house put up for collateral, okay, one of those special conditions is that Diddy will provide a list, okay, of people to come to his home in Miami, right? So these are things that his attorneys had put in. These are things that his attorneys, with this 4th request to bail out, and we're not done. And hello, Jacob. Thank you for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. We're talking about this Diddy mayhem, okay? Now, I want to make sure these are the quote-unquote special conditions, okay? They said if approved, if this bond is approved, Diddy's attorneys are promising that Diddy will have 24/7 monitoring service, right? Pre-approved visitor list, okay, consisting of select family members, okay? Now, remember that is what his attorneys have put in. That's what his attorneys put in. But let's go to the current situation that we have at hand. Okay? Now, Now the prosecutors are saying, whoa, you're lying. You guys are lying because your client, Sean Diddy Combs, okay, he has been using three-way calls to reach certain individuals not on the approved contact list in the detention center. What is going? What? Now, let's move forward. They've also said he's used a non-authorized party. Okay. Then they have also stamped to send. He sent hundreds of text messages to dozens of individuals. He's already doing all of this now in jail. Let's move forward. Thank you guys for coming in. Hit that like button. Now let's move forward. The next one they're saying since he's been locked up, they say he's orchestrated social media. Okay, and for the people that are just coming in, I'm going to show the video that they are using as an example of this right here. Okay, they say that Diddy has orchestrated social media campaigns, okay, that are in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool, made efforts to publicly leak materials he views as helpful to his case. Okay, so they're basically trying to say, okay, everybody's in it. Okay, they're using his family, they're using his kids. This is ridiculous. And I'm going to go back to the comments, and I'm going to show this video that they are using to support what they're saying in the filing. Orchestrated social media campaigns. Okay, they're stating that he's using his children to campaign himself as an innocent man. Okay, let me read the comments, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Mrs. Shamrock says he has a pre-approved list of contacts in jail and won't even abide by that. Cindy says Trump will pardon him. You know what? And Cindy, I am glad you are saying that. I'm going to pin what you said because, yes, we're going to talk about Trump, but we're going to talk about Trump in a minute, okay? Not right away. We're going to talk about Trump in a minute, okay? But not just yet. We gotta finish with Diddy, okay? We have to. I owe it. Now, also, the video, like I stated, I'm going to show what the prosecutors are using as evidence. What they're using as evidence against Diddy right now. And this is a video of his children wishing him a happy birthday on November the 4th that now the prosecutors are using against Diddy. Ridiculous.
Happy birthday to Daddy. Keep going,
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Yeah. We love you too.
Now, I don't understand. I really don't understand. And Narendra says Diddy attorneys are oiling up for it. Yeah, you know what? Diddy attorneys are really in limbo right now. They are really in limbo. And hello, Life with Chill. Thank you so much for coming in. Life. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And like I stated, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move forward. They also said Combs has sought a relay messages to the public to advance his pledge of innocence. And like I stated, they're saying Combs directed his family members, like the video that I just showed you. The video I just showed you was all of his children except one, which is Chance. But everybody else was in that video. You had Quincy Combs, you had Christian Combs, you had Justin Combs, you had even the 2-year-old, you had the twins, you had everybody in that video. Ridiculous. Now, I also want to say, like I stated, Combs directed his family to family members to post on social media to influence the public's perception, including a video of his children celebrating Combs' birthday. Prosecutors also suggested in filing argued that because Diddy is not able to follow the rules within federal custody at Metropolitan Detention Center suggests he wouldn't follow rules if he was awarded a bail, other bail conditions. And they stated, and I quote in this filing, the defendant then monitored the analytics, example, audience engagement, and explicitly discussed with his family members, how to ensure that the video had his desired effect on potential jury members. And Jacob, yes, I am Jacob says, double tap on the screen. Madness, thank you for coming in. Oh, who cares? The guy really made a lot of people mad. You know what, Madness? And that is why he's in this situation. That is why he's in this situation. If you guys would have been to my last live on Friday, I did give a quote, and the quote was, your net worth is your net worth, right? Who you have around you as far as your support team, especially the people that I have in this chat with the blue jackets, these people are my network, okay? These people support me, right? And this is what I think is lacking with Diddy right now. Because Madness, you said it best. He has made a number of people mad, right? He doesn't have the support right now. Because if he had the support, somebody would have told him, okay, for one, let's go back up. For one, why does he have access to at least 8 inmates where he's using their telephone accounts? Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? He doesn't have the support. He doesn't have it. And then on top of that, you said it best, Madness. You said it best. He's made so many people so upset, right, that nobody cares about what's going on with him as far as if he's here today and not tomorrow, right? Because if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have Diddy still doing Diddy stunts while he is incarcerated. I don't understand it. And hello, you guys. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Now, I will say this. When it comes down to this Diddy mess, now I'm really trying to figure out, is this video that I was able to obtain, I don't have all of it, okay, as far as me want to show you guys, okay, because I don't want any legal matters to come my way, but I did show a video. I'm going to play it again. I did show a video in regards to a leak, okay, of Diddy talking to one of his sons since he's been locked up. And I'm going to play it one more time, okay? Might play it again.
Disclaimer, fair use, copyright, section 107.
Boxes left over from the pizza. I need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have them out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie.
Now, I will say this. I'm questioning that particular video myself. Why? Because I do have another video that is allegedly Christian Combs' voice, because Christian Combs, he's in a legal matter right now, okay? A civil lawsuit. Allegedly, I got to be careful with my words because I don't want to be sued. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Mrs. Shamrock says Trump ain't partying him, not a chance. Madness says envy breeds, I can't say that word, in amongst his peers. Mrs. Shamrock says the records of the jail. Mrs. Shamrock says his circle thinks he is getting what he deserves and hoping that hoping the target ain't on their back. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Mrs. Shamrock, because it's funny that you say this, and I have a question. Does anybody know? And I'm going to read this lady's name. And thank you guys for coming in. This is the picture of one of the videos the prosecutors are actually using against Diddy right now. In regards to his attorney's fourth attempt at requesting for his bond, okay, and they're supposed to go back to court this week, and it will be a response whether or not the actual request will get approved by the judge Friday. Okay, I want to throw it out there this Friday coming up. Now, I will also have a question, like I stated. Let me get into my notes. Let me get into my notes, because even Miss Shamrock said it, his circle, I'm going to pin it. His circle thinks he's getting what he deserves and hoping the target ain't on their back. Now, why do I agree with that? Because there is a lady named Linda. I'm gonna show her the next video. But she is the publicist to Christian Combs, Diddy's son. And the son that we're talking about is this particular son right here now. Okay? Christian Combs, his publicist, she had a whole statement leaked out, and it was supposed to be meant for her family. Okay? And with her, she leaked out some things she should not have said. She said, this Diddy controversy is truly so unfortunate. I work with his son, Christian, as his publicist in the music area. I've been to his parties and after parties, and I've never seen what they're claiming. Okay? And she also said, I do feel like maybe he was trying to change. And now she's talking about Diddy. Diddy was trying to change, okay, over the past year. But it seems like it was too late. And this past transgression may have come to the light. And now he has to face the consequences. Now, this is my question. Why would somebody who calls themselves a publicist to Sean Combs, aka Diddy, yes, Mrs. Shamrock, this statement was leaked, and it gets worse. It gets freaking worse, okay? Because this publicist is supposed to be Christian Combs' publicist. It's supposed to be his publicist. Why is she saying stuff like this? I don't care if it is her. I don't care if it was her mama. Okay? Because she comes back and says that this statement that was leaked out, allegedly leaked out, but she posted it on Facebook, okay? She said that this was supposed to be a conversation amongst her family members. My thing is this: if you're going to have a conversation amongst your family members, keep it off the internet. And for her to be a publicist, okay, a publicist, this is something that they teach you, okay? They teach you this. This is something that you know way in the beginning, okay, of your career. So why is his publicist, Luna, releasing leaked statements? I'm going to say it, okay? Because anytime you put something online, guess what? That it's there forever. It's there forever. And hello, legal. I am very passionate, legal. You know why I'm so passionate about this? I'm passionate because Diddy is in another situation. And as you can see, not only is Diddy in another situation, as you can read right here, what I have typed, okay, his sons are in lawsuits. Yes, you heard right. And I'm taking this very passionately, okay, because this lady right here, the prosecutors are using this video where this young lady, all she did was say happy birthday to her father, Diddy Combs, and now the prosecutors are using that against Diddy. They're saying that Diddy has put all this into control, telling all of his family members to make him look in a better light, okay? And this is what is very just sad. It's sad. It's really sad. And thank you for coming in, Legal. Thank you so much for coming in. Mrs. Shamrock says they are doing what their client tells them to do. They have to. And see, this is what I'm trying to understand. Why is a publicist of Christian Combs, Diddy's son, why is she saying anything? I would put NDAs out on everybody, okay? Don't discuss anything about the Combs, period, okay? Especially now, because the trial hasn't even started. And just like I stated right here, as you guys can see, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Christian Combs and Justin Combs, okay, are allegedly in civil lawsuits themselves. RZA says, do you think he should get bail? I'm glad you asked that. I'm going to start a poll on that. Should Diddy, and I'm glad you asked that, should Diddy get bail? Thank you for asking that, because now we're going to turn it into a poll. And thank you guys for coming in, because at this point, I don't know. I don't know how Diddy is helping himself and how Diddy's family are helping the situation, okay? Because they're posting things online. They're doing things out in the public that is not conducive to their father or to themselves. Because if you guys can remember, I did discuss how Diddy's sons, not too long ago during the Halloween, okay, last month, they got in an altercation with Brandy's brother, Ray J, right? And Ray J himself, he's been in headlines recently, okay? So, and RZA says never, never. Thank you guys for coming in. Jenkins says, of course he shouldn't get bail. When it all comes out, people are going to want him under the jail. Wow. Jenkins says, sad that family took advantage of so many people. Whoa. Thank you for coming in. Mr. Shamrock says he's running this case and his attorneys are letting him cause he is paying huge money. And you're exactly right. And see, this is why people, money talks, but it's like you have to have a strong support team, and a strong support team meaning somebody has to put you in your place and let you know when you're right and when you're wrong. But it seems like Diddy, who's worth supposedly, I don't know how much he's worth now, but before all this, he was worth $500 million, right? So it's like when somebody's worth all that money, he's going to have very little people to tell him the word no. Very, very little people. Because even in a few lives back, I had discussed how even when Diddy was locked, since Diddy's been locked up, right? As part of their request for the fourth attempt for Diddy to get out, they requested because of the conditions that Diddy has been in. And even that case, it was very weak, their argument in that case. Why? Because they said that Diddy's laptop was being denied, taken away from him. They stated that he could not use a pen. They stated that, just things that are very minute. Because anybody who's been in jail, and we did have oh my God, thank you so much, Art of War. Art, why did you do that? Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Art of War. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Art of War, I'm trying to get... Oh, my God. Thank you so much, Art of War. Art of War says, keep up the good work, Miss News Lady. Thank you so much. Thank you. I get so emotional. This is so hard. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much, Art of War. Thank you so much. I'm gonna try to compose myself. I'm not gonna cry because this is still the beginning of the show. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Like I stated, you have to have people who support you, because if you don't, and thank you so much, Jenkins. I appreciate that. Jenkins says, yeah, you're great. I'd much rather hear your voice in the morning than any talking head on TV. Thank you so much. Madness says, nah, they're sending messages to others using Diddy. Welcome to the powers that can make it rain. And yes, I completely agree, Madness, because at this particular point, Diddy's in a lot of trouble, because even their argument for Diddy to get out was very weak, because they stated that Diddy was not allowed to use his laptop to help him prepare for the case on May the 5th of next year. They stated they took his pens away. I mean, these are things that are very minute, right? And I'm going to show you why I say this is very minute. I'm going to read some of what they were stating. Okay. They stated that Combs was denied access to his laptop. They stated how there was daily sweeps and lockdown at this detention center that he's in, Metropolitan Detention Center, right? And that prevents their client from meeting with them and having access to the materials like pens and notebooks. But I want to highlight this. I got to highlight this. I want people to understand that when you're in jail, and I did my research on this, and I almost got in tears. Oh, I love you too, Michael. Thank you for coming in. Hello, you guys. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Mrs. Shamrock says, have you read the prosecution's response? Now, yes, I'm going to go back. Thank you for getting me back in check, Mrs. Shamrock. Now I'm going to read the response. The response to the prosecutors. Yes, their response was, and thank you for stating that. Okay, and this was Friday. They did a filing. Okay, they said, and I quote, that Diddy is trying to corrupt and influence witnesses' testimony and taint the jury pool. Okay, and 2, Diddy has continued to attempt to obstruct, and let me go back, to obstruct the federal government's investigation. And 3, the new allegations were revealed in court, okay, filing late Friday. Okay, and they have argued, and I quote, to support all of this, they have reviewed recorded calls from this detention center that Diddy has been in. They said Diddy has used the telephone accounts of at least 8 inmates of allegedly evade monitoring. He has paid inmates, and this is in violation of these rules. And Michael says, I just want to say that because the page came across YouTube, I didn't want your page on here. Oh, I love you too. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now, when it comes down to, they also stated that Diddy has used 3-way calls to reach certain individuals not on an approved contact list. They also stated he's used non-authorized third-party systems to send hundreds of text messages to dozens of individuals. Now, the next thing they stated, Diddy has orchestrated social media campaigns that are, in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool, and made efforts to publicly leak materials he views as helpful to his case. And now they're stating that Combs has sought to relay messages to the public to advance his innocence. And one of those ways he's done it, he's used his family. This is what the prosecutors are stating. And yes, Mrs. Shamrock, thank you so much. That's the birthday video. Yes, that's the birthday video. And the birthday video, I'm going to play a little clip, and thank you guys for coming in. Shout out to Art of War. And shout out to I Am Jacob. Shout out to Mrs. Shamrock. Shout out to Narendra. Thank you guys for the support. I'm going to play a clip of this quote unquote birthday video. And I don't understand why the quote unquote prosecution team, they are using this against Diddy. Okay. You have enough evidence to use something else. You don't have to use a birthday video against him.
Keep going.
Happy birthday to
Daddy.
Keep going,
Go.
man.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Yeah.
I love y'all so much.
We love you too.
Love you,
I can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see y'all. And I'm just want to say I'm proud of y'all, especially the girls. I mean, all of y'all, but just for being strong. Thank y'all for being strong, and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world. My birthday, I'm happy. Thanks to y'all giving me this call. Thank you very much. I love y'all.
We love you more. Can't wait to see you in a couple of days.
I
I'll see y'all in a couple of days.
again.
What you say?
love you, Daddy.
I love you too, baby.
Yo, Pops.
Hi, we're right here.
Chance right here on the phone, too. Pops, love you and all your cakes.
Now, I don't understand why they are using this video against Diddy. They have so much other things they could use against Diddy, right? And one of the videos that's been out as a witness, her name is Miss Tanae Wallace. I'm going to actually play a clip that she has been doing number of interviews stating that she was a witness to Diddy and how Diddy acts at a after party, or should I say an all-white Diddy party, okay, as well as how Diddy's son Christian Combs act at an all-white Diddy party. Yes, I mean, it is crazy at this point. It is very crazy. And this lady that I'm going to play, her name is Miss Tanae Wallace. I discussed her. I'm just going to do a little quick clip on this particular person.
I am the clout. Clout is chasing me. Nah, but it's like they get the wrong idea.
Now, this particular person, she is a witness to an all-white Diddy party that she attended back in 2018. And her name is Miss Tanae Wallace. I'm just taking it back a little bit just for a review, just to kind of give you guys a little heads up of what's been going on with this particular matter. And the lady that we're talking about is this lady right here. One moment, you guys. I'm sorry. It's Miss Tanae Wallace. With her, she has been to an all-white Diddy party. She discussed her experience at this quote-unquote all-white Diddy party. And she actually even stated how she saw people that looked like little Barbie midgets, okay? And she wanted to say little people and use little people only because she was afraid, that something might be used against her, because in her words, those were quote unquote minors at these all white Diddy parties dressed as Barbies. Okay. And thank you guys for coming in. Yes, we're talking about Diddy. I'm going to read the comments. Daniel says, I think their point is there was no reason for that video to be published to social media unless they were trying to influence people that he was innocent. And thank you, Daniel. I'm going to pin that. And you're absolutely right. It made no sense. And look at this. Look at this. I'm reading the poll. It says 95% so far feel that Diddy is not getting out. 95%. Now, I will say this. Diddy did bring this on himself. I feel bad to say it that way, but yes, he brought this on himself, per se. And thank you guys for coming in. I wanted to actually show, but I'm going to just keep it right here. I wanted to actually show this particular lady named Tanae Wallace, where she actually discussed that she'd been to these Diddy parties, okay? She actually been to these Diddy parties, and the lady that I'm talking about, I'm going to show in this clip, she's actually in a documentary about Diddy, okay? And
I was at one of P. Diddy's freak-offs. I was at one of P. Diddy's freak-offs.
You saw celebrities there that you recognized.
There was a rapper that we all know. There was a rapper that we all know.
I'm hearing about paying victims to keep their name out of it.
They were high off something.
Do you know people who have paid off to keep this quiet?
I think I said too much.
Off something.
Do you know people who have paid off to keep this quiet?
I think I said too much.
now, that is a clip of this lady named Tanae Wallace, okay? And with Tanae Wallace, she has been in a number of interviews recently stating how Diddy, at this all-white party that she attended back in 2018, it did have, in her words, little people dressed like Barbies. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot make this up, okay? In her words, she said that she was flown from Los Angeles to Miami from a guy because she was, in her case, she was a, let's just say, a 304, okay? And she was sent from Los Angeles by a prince, okay, by a prince to Miami, all right? And that is when she said she went, that's how she went to this party, okay? She was a quote-unquote, allegedly, you know, one of the girls, right? But she was not one of Diddy girls. She was not one of those girls. Now, I'm using her to say this is a lot of, one of the reasons all these witnesses are coming out. You have all of these witnesses at this point. They're coming out. They're coming out at the wrong time, to be exact, because now it's like Diddy cannot make any motions, cannot make any moves. And when I say he cannot make any moves, look at what has happened now. Okay, now the prosecutors, right? They are watching everything he does at the Metropolitan Detention Center. They're watching everything that he does, because just last Friday they released a statement. They released a statement stating, and I quote, that Diddy is trying to corruptly influence witnesses' testimony and taint the jury pool, and that is their response to Diddy's attorneys requesting that he gets out. Okay, that is their response. So they put in their filing this past Friday. Okay, the prosecutors, in response to Diddy's attorneys putting their request on the weekend of Diddy's birthday back in November the 4th. So the prosecutors say, hey, okay, you want to play? Let's go. Their response was, okay then, this is why Diddy needs to stay locked up. Okay? Why? Because he's trying to already he's corruptly trying to influence witness testimony and taint the jury pool from jail. How is he doing this? Okay, let's talk about it. They said he has attempted to obstruct the federal government's investigation, okay, under new allegations, okay? And with these new allegations, they said a review of recorded calls from this Metropolitan Detention Center revealed Combs used the telephone accounts of at least 8 inmates to allegedly evade monitoring. He's paid inmates, okay? He's been paying them, and this is violation of the rules. He's used 3-way calls to reach certain individuals not on the approved contact list, and he's used a non-authorized system to send hundreds of text messages to dozens of individuals. Now, see, this is my question. He's only been in jail since September. How is he able to send out hundreds of text messages? He hasn't even been in there that long. He's already doing Diddy stuff. I'm sorry. I hate allegedly. I'm just going to put it out there. He's already doing Diddy acts. And what are Diddy acts? Diddy acts is when he is doing stuff that he thinks he can't be stopped. He's doing things in the sense that average people wouldn't do. And average people, when they are locked up in jail and they're incarcerated, they are not going to have three-way phone calls with individuals. They're not going to pay 8 inmates, okay, to use their telephone accounts, all right? And average people, they're not, last but not least, they're not going to be doing all of this, and they don't even have a trial. The trial hasn't even started, and they don't even have a bail yet. So average people don't do things like this. Now, the next one, prosecutors stated that Diddy has orchestrated social media campaigns that are, in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool. And I'm going to go back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Shouts out to, I have to keep on stating it, Art of War and Mrs. Shamrock. I am Jacob. Daniel Holmes, thank you for coming in. Shout out to Distracted. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to go back into the comments. Okay. Mrs. Shamrock says that could have been private. So making it public was for a purpose. The video, yes. The birthday video, that could have been kept private. Distracted says, while as in dress white. I cannot repeat that. Narendra says, oh, now I feel bad for Diddy. The legend says, oh. Mrs. Shamrock says, Narendra, you know that is a lie. Yes, Narendra, you do not feel bad. You do not feel bad. And thank you guys for coming in. Distracted says, they got parties in other places. Mrs. Shamrock says, how? Because he is using an unapproved app to directly text witnesses under his son's email address. Mrs. Shamrock, whoa, wait a minute now. Hold up, this is allegedly. Wait a minute. I'm not trying to get no lawsuits. Wait a minute. Did you just say under his son's email address? Whoa. And the only reason I'm stating this whoa part, okay, because Mrs. Shamrock put this in the comments. She says it's in the filing. Now, I want to say this, okay, Mrs. Shamrock. I'm trying to compose myself. Now, Mrs. Shamrock, question. Which son? Which son? You say it's in the filing. Which son? Because you have Justin, you have Quincy, last but not least, you have the infamous, excuse my typo, Christian Combs. So my question is, which son, Mrs. Shamrock? Mrs. Shamrock says the email address is redacted, so we don't know. Now, I'm gonna say this. What I personally think, because of what's been going on between Christian Combs and Justin Combs, this could be allegedly, but what is not allegedly is that both Christian Combs and Justin Combs, they do have current civil lawsuits, because there was a lawsuit filed for Christian Combs back in April, right? And the person that filed the civil lawsuit against Christian Combs, and also she used Christian Combs' father, Diddy, as a defendant in this lawsuit, is the lady named Grace Omar. Okay, and in the civil lawsuit she filed against Christian Combs, she discussed how she worked as a stewardess on the yacht. Excuse the typo. She worked as a stewardess on the yacht of a yacht that Diddy had rented out back in December of 2022. She says that Diddy was the one that rented the yacht, and her job was to serve refreshments for 12 hours. And in the lawsuit, Grace claims to be a waitress and she saw several women, okay, while she was a stewardess, she saw several women drinking, okay, alcohol, immediately, pass out and become unable to stand up. She further claims that King Combs, and this is the person that we're talking about, right? She further claims that King Combs, aka Christian Combs, in this civil lawsuit that is against Diddy's son that we're talking about, back in April, it's been filed, okay? And it's still ongoing in regards to Christian. So that is why I'm wondering with what you said, Mrs. Shamrock, in the filing, okay, because they redacted the email address, I'm wondering, could it have been Christian Combs? Because Christian Combs is currently in a lawsuit with a lady named Grace that was a stewardess that was working on the yacht at a party for Diddy back on 2022 on December the 28th. Okay. And I want to also say in the lawsuit, she claims that while she was a waitress, she saw women drinking alcohol and not able to stand up. She further claims that King Combs would come only on the yacht in the evening to party. And he arrived on the yacht, okay, intoxicated, and he pressured her. He pressured her to drink tequila in a recording studio on this yacht. This is when Grace claims in a recording studio that King Combs, Diddy's son, started to kiss her. He started to touch her. All right. And this is I'm being very careful. So I have a screenshot. I don't want to play all of it, but I'm going to play a little clip. There is an actual recording of King Combs conversating with Miss Grace. Yes, you heard right. Yes, you heard right. And I'm going to play a little clip. This is fair use. This is fair use.
Do you know people who...
This is fair use, and thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to play a little clip of the conversation that was secretly recorded when King Combs was on this yacht back on December the 28th of 2022. And the person that recorded this is another person that's suing. And this person that's suing is Rodney Jones, okay? A producer that worked for a whole year for Sean Combs on his last album, okay? This is the recording that was secretly recorded by Rodney Jones, aka Lil Rod, okay, who worked for a whole year on Sean Combs' last album called Love Off the Grid, right? So we're going to play a little clip. And you guys tell me, do you think this is King Combs' voice? Okay, where he's talking to this lady named Grace. Okay, I'm just going to play a little clip. I can't play it all because this is fair use. Fair use. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. We're talking about Diddy. And now we're talking about his son because now I'm trying to figure out, will Diddy end up in jail alone? Because the way his sons are moving, and according to the prosecutors, they have evidence that his sons, okay, or sons are also being corrupt while Diddy is in jail, allegedly. So the clip that I'm about to play is this clip that King Combs was secretly recorded. King Combs was secretly recorded talking to this lady who is now currently allegedly suing King Combs for unspecified damages, okay? So she didn't give a specific amount. She didn't give a specific amount.
Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now.
Now I'm going to play another clip. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Now, I'm going to play this clip one more time.
I'm going to say I requested you right now.
Now, he was talking to this lady, right? Grace. Grace said, excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. If I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that, right? And then that's when King Combs says, who can I talk to? I'm going to say, I requested you right now. And then she says, well, you can take your hand off mine for the first thing, right? So this is all coming up in the wind now, This is all in the air right now. And I'm gonna find the other video, but this is just a piece of the video that has been, it was secretly recorded. It was secretly recorded, right? And I want people to understand, at this particular time, when it comes down to Diddy, it's now looking very chaos. It's looking very chaotic right now. Why? Because now the prosecutors are saying his sons are in big trouble. Why? Because in their new filing that was filed Friday to argue why their father, Sean Combs, should not be out, they stated, okay? And hello, guys. Thank you for coming in. Please hit that like button. I'm going to go into the comment. Maine says, please keep praying for the protection of President Trump and his family and those chosen for his administration. Maine, we're going to talk about that in about I'm going to say a few more minutes. And thank you guys for coming in. Yes. Italo says, plus he paid KD. Oh, now see, I can't say that. Look, that's allegedly. And I'm glad you did mention that, though, because now all of this is coming out in the wind works now. Why? Because now Diddy is locked up. Diddy can't quote unquote do anything to people. And now you notice all of these people are suing Diddy in civil lawsuits. Because my question is this. And I'm not trying to say here, there, whatever, but even with this lady named Grace, who is currently suing Christian Combs, okay, she filed the lawsuit April the 8th. Why did she not file charges on Christian Combs? Why is she trying to sue him in a civil lawsuit? That is my question. Because this case was filed April the 8th. But it happened, okay, it happened December the 28th. As far as what she's stating, King Combs did to her on a yacht, on his father's rented out yacht. My thing is, why didn't she file charges on him instead of civil? Right? Now, this filing, the civil lawsuit, okay, this is all claimed to have been witnessed by Lil Rod, like I stated earlier, who is another accuser suing, okay, Sean Combs, Diddy Combs. Rodney, like I stated earlier, Rodney worked with Diddy on his album called Love Off the Grid for a whole year. Rodney claims to have audio from December the 28th, and that was the clip that I just played, okay, that allegedly supports Grace's claims against King Combs. Grace further on her civil lawsuit claims that when she tried to return to work as a stewardess, King Combs would try to find her and at one point instructed her to find him a place to sleep on board. To his request, she found him a place in a cinema room on the yacht. And he tried again. Okay, he tried again to bother her. And as you can read, I'm trying to be very careful with my words, ladies and gentlemen. He had her unclothed, okay, unclothed herself and tried to get her to perform some things. If you can read between the lines of what I have typed out, but I don't want to say it. Okay, she also accuses Combs of battery, essay, intentional infliction of emotional distress. And she also has his dad, Sean Combs, aka Diddy, as a defendant because he is accused of abetting his son's behavior. Okay, and also because she's stating the reason she's using Diddy in this as a defendant because premises liability. Okay, she's using it because premises liability means because he was the one that leased he was the lease of this yacht that leased this yacht out. Okay, he is at fault. Okay, because premises was basically mean that you have duty to keep people on your property safe from injuries or harm. And like I stated, she's seeking damages. Now, Justin Combs is a defendant in a lawsuit. He's a defendant in a civil lawsuit. And the civil lawsuit is in Rodney, like I said, Lil Rodney Jones civil lawsuit as a defendant. And in Rodney Jones' civil lawsuit, he claims that Justin is mentioned to be Diddy's facilitator. He said in Diddy's alleged RICO enterprise and he participated in these freak-offs with his father, allegedly. Okay, and he also said Justin is someone who solicited what? You can read it, ladies and gentlemen. Underage workers. So this is not looking good for none of the people that we have discussed in regards to Diddy's mayhem. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. We are talking about Diddy. I'm going to go back into the comments. It says, Narendra says, not Diddy Jr. I'm going back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Narendra says December 28th, 2024. That's in the future. No, it was December 28th of 2022 in regards to this civil lawsuit that the lady Grace has against Christian Combs. Okay? She has this against him. And I'm using this to say that none of this is helping Diddy. None of this is helping Diddy request fourth attempt to get a bond to get out. It's not helping him. Mrs. Shamrock says, honestly, I believe every word of Rod Jones' lawsuit. And you know what, Mrs. Shamrock, I believe it too, because everybody is not lying, right? And it seems like everybody is saying the same. It seems like everybody is saying the same thing or something similar, if that makes sense. It's like, even with the 122 accusers that are being represented by the lawyer, Tony Busby, right? They are all saying something similar. So if 122 people that's being represented by one law firm, they're saying something similar, then you have Grace Omar Mary, she's saying something similar. It's like everybody's not lying. Everybody is not lying. Now, I want to make sure we're all on the same page with this detention center that I'm talking about. And I'm going to go up in regards to this detention center. And thank you guys for coming in. With this detention center that Diddy is being held at, okay, it has been currently under investigation. It's called the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. It has been going through having sweeps. People have been deleted, and it's made headlines. Right now, I want to move forward, but I will go back. The reason I'm talking about this particular detention center is because even how bad this detention center is, it's still not as bad as what has made headlines here in the state of Georgia that I live in. Okay, and that is the Fulton County Jail, okay, here in Georgia. And I want to talk about a little bit about this particular jail here in Fulton County. This is the jail that all of the YSL defendants except Young Thug was held at, okay, ever since 2022, okay? And that was the reason that Young Thug requested ahead of time not to be at this particular jail here in Fulton County. Now, I want to make sure people understand this. And this was recently, they made a press conference, the Department of Justice here in Georgia. they did a press conference talking about this. Okay, and they stated how there has been an investigation revealed, and it's been notated that Fulton County Jail has done unconstitutional, unlawful, and dangerous conditions, okay, inside of this jail here in Fulton. And they also stated, I want to make sure, because I had to talk about it. They stated, and I quote, it currently is supposed to only house 2,000 people. The rate was 1.5 times the you-know-what of New York jails. Okay? And they making it seem as if the Fulton County Jail is way worse than the Metropolitan Detention Center that Diddy is in. And the person that I want to talk about how all of this came about as far as the investigation being done at the Fulton County Jail. And the reason I want to talk about it is because this is the same county that Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, she was reelected. She was reelected her position November the 5th. And when they asked her, is she going to move forward with the Trump and his co-defendants trial, she says she's going to move forward. And she says, even if it takes her, allegedly, quote unquote, 8 years, right? Because ever since Donald Trump won his position as an elected 47th president, now everything has been put on postpone. It's been postponed. Okay? It's been postponed. Now, people are pointing fingers at Fonnie now. Mrs. Shamrock says, how Fonnie Willis got reelected is beyond me. And the reason I think Fonnie Willis got reelected, I hate to say this, and this was even mentioned at the press conference, right? And I want to be very careful with my words, but I gotta put it out there. I have to put it out there. Okay. They stated how at this Fulton County Jail that basically it's racism going on. And I want people to understand the county that this jail is located at, and this is why Fonnie Willis won by 68% re-election is, I'm going to just be honest. Okay, this is my personal opinion. It is because they want to support someone that is of a certain tone, a certain gender. I have to be very safe. Why? Because if it wasn't the case, why didn't Courtney Kramer win? Okay, her opponent. Because Courtney Kramer stated her reason. She said, if you vote for me, I promise to end this Trump trial. Okay, because it's unconstitutional. Okay, but when she stated that, watch this, Fonnie Willis still won by 68%. And what's so odd to me, how is it that she won when the Fulton County Jail is housing people that has not been appointed a trial date in 5 years, in 4 years? And it's even to the point that they even stated from their investigation in 2023, there have been 313 you know what? You can see it. And more than 1,000, hits inside the jail. And I also want to make sure I state this. In the first 9 months of 2023, and this is the Department of Justice doing their investigation on this Fulton County Jail that we're talking about. They said in the first 9 months of 2023, there were over 200 emergency transports of incarcerated people, okay, that were taken outside to an outside hospital for injuries. And why are we talking about this? Because of this gentleman right here. And Mrs. Shamrock, I have a question for you as well as other people in this live. Has anybody heard of this gentleman called LaShawn Thompson? Anybody? I'm going to go back into the comments. Mrs. Shamrock says, I got it. Mrs. Shamrock says, voters in Fulton County wanted Trump prosecuted. And you're absolutely right. And they still want him prosecuted. They still want him prosecuted. Now, Mrs. Shamrock, I'm glad that you said you've never heard of him. This particular gentleman that you're looking at, LaShawn Thompson, he was found in his cell, okay? I cannot show the picture. I do have the pictures. I might try to figure it out next live, but I'm not trying to get into it, you know, with YouTube guidelines. But how you see this gentleman right here is not how he was found in his cell, okay? He was found in his cell about 30 to 40 pounds lighter, and he was covered in, you know, disclaimer, okay? He was covered in lice, okay? And this is how the Department of Justice, good morning, the Herbal Goddess, thanks for coming in. This is how the Department of Justice came in to start doing an investigation on Fulton County Jail, as well as other jails here in Georgia. Now, with LaShawn Thompson, like I stated, he had been going through mental illness. And from the investigation, even in regards to him, once they found him in the cell, his body, okay, it was proved, okay, that he had passed away from having 3 months of being malnourished, okay, and also his body, like I say, had passed away. He was covered in bugs. Now, it came to the point, I'm going to show the picture of LaShawn Thompson's cell, okay? This is how his cell looked when they found him. I'm not going to show the body or anything. Mrs. Shamrock says, is anyone being prosecuted for that? I'm glad you asked that, because this is why we have to talk about why do we have the people in the positions that we have them in. And I'm not going to just talk about finding Willis, but it also comes down to the judges. It comes down to even the sheriff who's over this county, this Fulton County jail that we're speaking of right here. And I'm going to show you this gentleman's cell. Okay. Now this is the best picture that I could actually obtain for viewer discretion. I could not show the others, but this particular cell, ladies and gentlemen, this is what they are going through at the Fulton County Jail. This is what they are going through. And Sunset, thank you for coming in. She says, wow, I remember this. I believe this was Cali. It was horrific. No, this is here in Georgia. This is here in Georgia, and this is why I wanted to kind of hit on it a little bit, because I feel like a lot of people worldwide and nationwide do not know about just how things are going on in Fulton County. And it's really, really sad, because Fulton County is where Atlanta is, and that is the place where they're supposed to say, quote unquote, I'm going to just be very frank and say it. Kendrick Lamar said it best in his song, you know, like Atlanta is a place where you go, quote unquote, if you're, you know, a certain color, right? And if that is the place where you get money, where you make it, you're supposed to make it. And also Atlanta, the city of Atlanta is supposed to be a place where, you know, we are supposed to work together. And when I say we, I mean people as a whole, not just quote unquote blacks, right? Atlanta is supposed to be a place where everybody of all race, of all nationalities are supposed to work together. And my whole thing is, how is it that a gentleman such as LaShawn Thompson is given a cell that looks like this and is ignored for 3 months of not eating? And he is in this cell where people do not even realize he has passed away. And it got to the point with the gentleman that I'm talking about. I want to show how he looked prior to him being arrested. This is how he looked. LaShawn Thompson. And he was the one, and I'm glad that his passing is being heard, because according to the Department of Justice, now they are giving Fulton County and Fulton County officials, quote unquote, 49 days. 49 days to respond to their investigation that they have found that this Fulton County jail is unconstitutional, is unlawful, dangerous, and is poor conditions. And now Fulton County Jail, the Fulton County as a whole, as well as the sheriff, everybody, they have 49 days to respond. If they do not respond, the Department of Justice said there will be a lawsuit. Now, I wanted to state that because I'm going to break it down. And thank you guys for still hanging in there, but I have to talk about this. I know we talk about Diddy so much, but Diddy wouldn't make it in Fulton County. I'm being honest. Diddy would not make it in Fulton County Jail. He wouldn't last one day. He wouldn't. And thank you, Jay Cricket. Thank you guys for coming in. Mr. Shamrock says, because people don't care. That's heartbreaking. It is. We should be on countdown for that response. Exactly. Sharon says, every one of them needed to be held responsible. This is correct. Yes. The man, the legend says, man, he was a what? What? Now, I want to talk about this. And I'm going to talk about this further on in another live, but I'm going to break it down some more in regards to the Fulton County Jail, because people are pointing fingers. And when I say people are pointing fingers at the Fulton County District Attorney. Why? Because it's the Fulton County District Attorney's office job to make sure, as well as the judges, to make sure that the people within the Fulton County Jail do have dates for a trial. But mind you, remember what I just said, a lot of these people have not had a trial date assigned. And some people have been in there for 5 years. No trial date. No trial date. And I'm going to move forward. One day that says, in September 2022, LaShawn Thompson was a man with a history of mental illness, passed away alone in a filthy cell in the mental health unit of Fulton County Jail. And this mental health unit, you guys that I want to talk about, it only has, according to the sheriff, Sheriff Labott, he stated that this mental health unit only houses, or supposed to only house 43 people, right? And now with the Department of Justice, they released a 105-page report, okay, after investigating and giving Fulton County and Fulton County Sheriff Office 49 days, like I stated, to respond or expect this lawsuit. And as part of this investigation, this was their findings. They said that the jail county, it failed to protect people from substantial risk of serious harm. They said that houses incarcerated people is unconstitutional living conditions that are unsanitary and dangerous, fails to provide adequate medical and mental health services to incarcerated people, uses solitary confinement in discriminatory and unconstitutional ways that exposes incarcerated people. Now, I want to highlight this word right here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to highlight this word. Okay, this is according to what the Department of Justice stated, okay, in their report against Fulton County. It says, and Mrs. Sherman says, oh, wait, he was in the mental health? Yes. He was LaShawn Thompson, this gentleman that we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, right here. This gentleman that we're talking about, he was in the mental health part, and this is how his cell unit looked, ladies and gentlemen. This is where his cell what his cell looked like as far as how they treat people with mental illness, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I say Diddy is, I don't think Diddy's gonna get, I don't know. I don't think his request is going, as far as getting out, it's not gonna happen. Because it's petty things that his attorneys are speaking about. They're they're saying the reason their client needs to get out is because he does not have access. He's being denied access to a laptop. He's being denied access to a pen and notebooks. He's not able to prepare himself for a court May the 5th. But look at this gentleman right here. LaShawn Thompson, his cell unit that was in the alleged mental housing part of Fulton County Department. Look at how his cell unit looked. And they found LaShawn Thompson malnourished, okay? And he had passed away. And nobody never knew he had passed away in his cell that looked like this. And I can't even show the other pictures. I'll say it that way. I cannot even show the other pictures. Sharon says, and he was in mental health unit too. You think they're really going to watch out for him? This is sad. It really, really is. Tyler says, people have gotten inside Rice Street several times. That place is a joke. And Tyler, I am so glad that you're speaking on this, because people need to actually know what is going on at the Fulton County Jail. They really, really do. And I also want to give you a little heads up about the sheriff that's running this jail. When somebody actually advocated and tried to speak up about what's going on in this jail, she stated she was the same person that was knocking on doors to get people to re-elect Sheriff Labatt, the one that's over this Fulton County Jail. She was given a temporary restraining order. Now, notice what I stated. She was given a temporary restraining order. All because she was attending that, you know what, how people say, attend the meetings, attend the monthly meetings, attend the weekly meetings. And because she stated her voice, okay, with concerns of this jail, they tried to give her a quote unquote TPO, and she fought it. She fought it, and it made headlines. And I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that another live. Okay. But these are the things that go on here in Fulton County. When you say something, they try to keep you quiet. When you say something and you do something that's not in agreement to them, right? They try to keep you quiet. And if they can't keep you quiet, they'll either sue you or serve you, right? And I'm going to break it down why I say that. And I promise you guys, once I break it down, okay, further on, I'm not going to do it this live. Not this live. But you guys are going to understand why I feel the wrong people are in the wrong positions. Because I'm telling you right now, Fonnie Willis, it's not her fault. I'll say this. When she came in 4 years ago, it was already a backlog at Fulton County Jail, right? But it did not help. She did not. I'm trying to see, how did she help? How did she help the situation? How? Because when it comes down to this gentleman right here, okay, LaShawn Thompson, he was found in Fulton County Jail in the mental health portion. He was not alive. And this is during the time Fonnie Willis, she was the district attorney. This is the same person that has made headlines against Young Thug in the YSL case. This is the same person that has made headlines against Donald Trump and his co-defendants, okay, with his indictment down here in Fulton County. But according to the Department of Justice, they're holding all parties accountable. They're holding not just Fonnie, they're holding all of the appointed people of Fulton County, as well as the Fulton County Jail, accountable. Okay, and thank you, Hugh. Hugh says Willis is just as corrupt. You're absolutely correct. Okay, I concur. Okay, and thank you for coming in. Tyler says people have, yes, and Mrs. Shamrock says IMO Diddy will never see the light of day as a free man ever again. And this is why I wish Diddy and his family, his associates, I wish they could be regular people. And when I say that phrase, regular people, I don't think people understand that when you get to a certain level as far as money, you think you cannot be touched. You think you can control anything. And that is what has happened with Diddy in this state, okay? In this particular state. But when it comes down to people like LaShawn Thompson here at the Fulton County Jail, who passed away, who was found, okay, not alive in September of 2022, he didn't have $500 million. As a matter of fact, he was housed in the mental part of the Fulton County Jail. I'm gonna continue to read. Okay, with this 105-page report, the Department of Justice said that the Fulton County Jail uses solitary confinement as discriminatory. And with this, the word discriminatory, it said that they had to put that out there like that, right? Because if anybody knows that majority of Fulton County itself as a whole, including Atlanta, the people that hold these positions are of a certain tone. I'm going to be very careful with my words, right? And this is why people come to Atlanta, because they feel Atlanta is a place of safety where people express themselves as far as different cultures. But notice what they put in this report. They said Fulton County Jail uses solitary confinement in discriminatory and unconstitutional ways that exposes incarcerated people, including 17-year-old children and those with mental health disabilities, to substantial harm. Now, when it comes down with 17-year-olds, we're talking about boys and girls. And according to the report, when it comes to these 17-year-olds, they are more prone to get in physical confrontations with these adult people. And thank you guys for coming in. Sharon says, this isn't about race, it's about heartless, yes, heartless people. And that is why I stated, okay, I want to be very careful with my tone and my words, because Atlanta is a place for various cultures, various people, okay, various races. And Atlanta is a place where all people are, grow together. And when I say this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not being funny when I say this. When I say this, I'm talking about me personally, okay? I live next door to all races. There's no quote unquote, well, oh, that's the black area. There's no quote unquote thing as that. That probably used to be that, but it's not anymore. And I want people to understand things are really going on. And it's really putting a hurt on people here in the Fulton County area. And Hugh says, I believe the whole African American culture has gone off the chain. And see, this is what I'm wondering, because even with Fonnie Willis, she still does not want to speak about, things such as LaShawn Thompson. She don't want to speak about things like that. As a matter of fact, I tell you what, even recent, instead of speaking about this, guess what she spoke about? Guess what she spoke about after she got elected again? She spoke about Donald Trump. She spoke about making sure that they're going to move forward with Donald Trump's trial. She spoke nothing about this Department of Justice report. I want people to think about that. Think about that. And Fulton County, and this is what really saddens me. Okay, I'm going to say this, when it comes down to these 17-year-olds, guess what it says? They do not offer educational services for these 17-year-old boys and girls. They don't offer educational services. They don't offer proper treatment for people who have mental health disabilities. They do not offer proper care for even people who need to go to the doctor. So these are things that need to be addressed. These are things that need to be discussed. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, ladies and gentlemen, is because when I saw this cell, this was a cell unit of somebody in the mental portion of Fulton County Jail, right? This is how people with mental issues are treated. And his cell was so horrible. I had to edit it. I could not show you the other part of his cell. I couldn't show it to you. I couldn't. Narendra says the U.S. government cares about illegal migrants, putting them up on five-star hotels, but not with people with mental disability. Mrs. Shamrock says putting someone with mental health issues in solitary is evil. You're absolutely right. Hugh says they re-elected Willis. That was rigged. Yes. 68%, Hugh. 68%. And one of the commissioners here in Fulton, he said it best, Mr. Rob Pitts. He said electors, these voters, they should be the ones at fault. He said, if you're upset, blame yourself. Blame yourself for electing these judges, electing all these people in the positions if you're upset. That was his response. But you know what the Department of Justice response was? They said you are at fault. It's everybody who has these high positions. Not you guys in the chat, but he stated that the people in these roles at Fulton County Jail, they are at fault. Mr. Shamrock says, if there is no education in place for juveniles, that is a state failure. The state of Georgia exactly. So I just wanted to kind of take a little glimpse of what's going on here in Fulton County. Like, this is not acceptable. This is unacceptable. Because even moving forward with this gentleman that name is LaShawn Thompson, and I implore you guys to look him up. I implore you guys to look this gentleman up, because if you see how they found him, the herb goddess said, my baby said, what are you listening to? Now I would say this: if you guys look up LaShawn Thompson and you see how they found him, I'll say it this way: he looks so bad that the actual correctional officers, some of them were even scared to perform CPR on him. They were uncomfortable to even perform CPR on him. It was maybe a few people that actually got the guts and courage to perform CPR on him. That's just how horrible he looked. Okay? And nobody should have to go through that. Nobody. Tyler says, blame the citizens for their abuse of power. That's a wild comment. My whole thing is, I feel people need to just wake up. And when I say people, don't fall into this. And I discussed it before, and I'm going to move forward. Let's see if I want people to understand, when it comes down to, don't fall into, these celebrities telling you to vote for this person, vote for that person. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Do your own research, right? Because you can easily fall into the game. You can easily fall into the trap. Because look at these people right here. I'm just going to show a little bit. Look at Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez has not said anything Nothing. But she had all this to say about voting for Kamala Harris. She had all this to say. But you have to you have to do your own research. And when you do your own research, you can be aware of what's going on in your local government. And as far as my local government goes, like I stated, my local government talked about LaShawn Thompson. My local government, when I looked it up, it shows that Fulton County Jail needs another jail. But people who are in Fulton County Jail, they haven't had a trial date for years. So you have to do your own research. You have to have your own sound mind, sound voice. Because if you don't, you would easily fall into the trap. Now, I'm going to move forward with what's been going on in the Trump world. Hugh says, thank you for bringing us to this light. And yes, Hugh, and thank you for starting the conversation. And Tyler, thank you. Mrs. Shamrock, thank you. Because people have to wake up. People have to know and be a voice for people who don't have a voice. Because people who are celebrities, like Jennifer Lopez, Eva Longoria. I was supposed to do a talk about Eva Longoria, people who know Eva Longoria. If you know, you know. If you don't, I will do another live showing her body and how she looks. But Eva Longoria, she's another very beautiful, well-known actress here in America. She had done endorsement for Kamala Harris. But fast forward, after Kamala Harris lost, right? It was an interview that got put out stating that, come to find out, Eva Longoria, she doesn't even live in America anymore. She doesn't live here anymore. Right? And because of Eva Longoria, she said the reason she doesn't live here anymore is because she said her heart was torn when she realized Donald Trump had became president the first time when he won. Her heart was broken. And Tranny, thanks for coming in. Tranny Fluid says, that's actually pretty normal. They know they're going to convict you and just turn you loose as time served right after convicted. Now, I don't know where you live, Tranny, but in Fulton County, I will say this, in Fulton County, they're not letting people go out fast. They're not. And this is some of the reasons things have to change. It has to change. Has to. Now, with Eva Longoria, she stated things such as this. She stated that's one of the reasons, the injustices. She stated all of what we've been talking about. She said those are some of the reasons that she left America. Right? And Eva Longoria is an actress. Okay? Beautiful actress, mind you. But she is one that left. She put her money where her mouth is. She moved. And according to the interview that she did, she lives in between Mexico and Spain. And she does her work in Europe most of the time. So how is it somebody like Eva Longoria, she left America, right? She left America. Her husband and her child moved to between Mexico and Spain. How was it she called herself endorsing Kamala Harris and even took a picture of herself wearing a vote for Kamala and I voted, trying to influence us all to vote, and not only to vote, but vote for Kamala Harris, but she doesn't even live in America anymore. And Tranny says they hold you for up to a year first. Yes, you're right, but not in other cases. Well, I would say this, Tranny, they're supposed to, but they don't here in Fulton County, because here in Fulton County, they have people in the Fulton County jail that have been locked up, okay, with no trial date for 5 years. 5 years. Okay, that's what's going on here in the Fulton County jail system. And Mrs. Shamrock says, glad she moved. Now wish she would just shut up. And see, these are the things I want people to understand. Don't go off of what these celebrities tell you. Why? Because this is how I'm going to be honest. Let me pull it up if I can. One moment, you guys. This is why. Pull it up for you guys. This is quote unquote why. Pull it up, and thank you guys for coming in. I want to pull it up for you guys. Here we go. This is why people are able to get back in their positions, such as Donald Trump, and become president again. And thank you guys for coming in. I wanted to actually show you guys. One moment. Yes, this is it. This is why people actually get back into their roles, right? Because people are not voting. And you're listening to the celebrities that tell you to vote for this, go this way, right? Now, Donald Trump, I guess people did not fall for that mess. Some people didn't fall for it. But the issue that we have now with the people that he is nominating for these so-called positions, okay, these positions, and one of these people that he has nominated that has made headlines to be his attorney general during his next term as 47th president is this gentleman named Matt Gaetz, okay? He's the former House of Representative Republican for Florida, okay, district. But he had a lot of issues, even to the point where I'm going to just stroll down. I'm going to keep it very, very brief. This person is so controversial. Even Republicans are wishing that there be an investigation. But because Donald Trump nominated him last week, the investigation that was supposed to move forward last Friday, it has been closed. And as part of this investigation that we're speaking about, I'm just going to stroll down. Okay, he resigned. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. And like I said, with Matt Gaetz, this particular person that we're talking about, he actually was supposed to be investigated. And with this investigation report that was supposed to come up on Friday, but because he resigned from his position due to Donald Trump nominating him for a higher role in politics of being an attorney general, okay, the investigation and report was supposed to be on him having misconduct, and illicit drug use, okay, that he accepted improper gifts, okay, he sought to obstruct government investigation of his conduct, okay. These are things that were supposed to be investigated, right, for this particular investigation. But all of this was closed. All of this was closed because Donald Trump nominated him for attorney general, and he resigned from his position in the House of Representatives. And it's ironic because at this particular point with Matt Gaetz that I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, with him, he's basically just, he's going to be the attorney general. At this point, I mean, who's stopping him? I mean, who is really stopping him at this point? Because according to the Congress, according to the House of Senate and the House of Representatives, it is being led by the Republicans. So who's going to stop him at this point? Who's going to stop him? Now, I'm not here to quote unquote take a Republican side or a Democrat side I'm not here to do that. I'm here to give the information and put it out there for you guys to decide. Now, with Matt Gaze, with this investigation, okay, he is supposed or had supposed to been associated with this gentleman named Joel Greenberg. And Joel Greenberg was a tax collector in Seminole County, Florida. And thank you guys for coming in. And with Joel Greenberg, it came with these similar accusations of what again? Gonna stroll down. With this S trafficking. I can't say the word S trafficking. I don't want to say the word. Okay. Wire fraud, stalking, identity theft, producing fake ID cards, and conspiring to defraud the United States government. Now, what was part of his deal? Okay. His deal of pleading guilty was to cooperate with the Justice Department. Okay. So he cooperated in the S trafficking portion. Okay. Talking about the Republican, the representative Matt Gaetz, the same person that will soon become the United States Attorney General, who Donald Trump, nominated. Now, with Joel Greenberg, in this investigation, it was insinuated that Joel Greenberg and Matt Gaetz actually hired prostitutes. These are allegedly now. Okay, I'm going to stroll down. So you got, look, don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Okay. According to New York Times, okay, they reviewed receipts from Cash App, Apple Pay. And thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in, you guys. Now, when it comes down to Joel Greenberg, as well as Matt Gaetz, okay, the person that Donald Trump nominated to become the Attorney General, okay, according to the New York Times, they claim they reviewed receipts from Cash App, Apple Pay, that show money sent to one of the women by Matt Gaetz and Joel Greenberg, and from Joel Greenberg to another woman from 2019 to 2020. They also state allegedly that Matt Gaetz and Joel Greenberg met these women at hotels and other locations in Florida. Now, Matt Gaetz, of course, he denied all of these allegations. Okay? He denied all of these allegations. But when it comes down to, and I want to make sure I put this, it stated that Matt Gaetz is accused of S with a minor. Okay? I just said that way. And I have to kind of scan through it. I'm just trying to be very safe. But when it comes down to Joel Greenberg, he cooperated. He was cooperating with the Department of Justice. And part of his testimony against Matt Gaetz, okay, he made an agreement. And with this agreement of cooperating, he was sentenced 11 years in prison by the federal judge in 2022. And this is after he had been indicted on 33 criminal counts. Now, I want you guys just to understand, when it comes down to what's going on, this is what happens when you don't do your own research, when you just go off of things. And I say, this is why I say, do your research. Now, with Donald Trump, I feel, me personally, I think that the reason he nominated Matt Gaetz to be the Attorney General is because one thing about Matt Gaetz over the years, anybody that's known Matt Gaetz, he's been very supportive of Donald Trump, no matter what. Very, very supportive. He was very supportive all the way back during Donald Trump's first term as president, right? And this is why I feel Donald Trump nominated him for Attorney General. I don't really believe Donald Trump nominated him for other things. Why? Because when it comes down to Matt Gaetz, he has been in a number of quote unquote accusations, allegations, investigations that deal with a lot of controversy, right? And he has been associated. And like I stated, thank you guys for coming in. What was the most recent investigation? And the report was supposed to be on, but it was closed on Friday due to the fact Matt Gaetz had been nominated for Attorney General and he resigned from his original role as one of the House of Representatives. Okay. I want people to understand, because he resigned, they ended up closing the investigation. I want people to understand that. They ended up closing this investigation that was supposed to be discussing him. Okay? And as a part of this investigation, it was supposed to talk about his misconduct, illicit drug use, accepting improper gifts, okay, and sought to obstruct government investigations of his own conduct. And now let's move forward. Look what's going on now, okay? He doesn't have to be investigated now. Why? Okay? And this is why some people, some Republicans even, are kind of upset. Because he allegedly resigned. You sound, Blue, thank you for coming in, Blue. I am very passionate when I speak about politics. I am very, very passionate. And thank you for coming in, Doom. Thank you so much for coming in. And Doom, I implore you to put in the chat, why do you love Matt Gaetz? Explain it. Why do you love him? Okay, because just like I stated, when it comes down to Matt Gaetz, he has a number of investigations. And according to his peer, a former peer that is, Joel Greenberg, who was a tax collector that was hired in 2017, and he ended up getting indicted in 2020. He wasn't even able to finish it. Mr. Shamrock says, so the investigation won't continue then. I don't know. Because a lot of people, and when I say I don't know, because going back up, a lot of people in the House Ethics Committee, they are very upset. They are very upset. The Republicans are upset with the House Ethics Committee. The Democrats are very upset. Why? Because if there is no investigation, then will Matt be our next Attorney General? Will he be our next Attorney General? Because now we have to look at, okay, will Congress sign this off? Will Congress sign and approve this? The House of Senate, the House of Republicans, will they approve of Donald Trump's nomination of the Attorney General? Will they approve of this? Doom says, if these long-term politicians are getting mad, I like the pick. Now, and thank you guys for coming in. The legend says, yes, they will. Yes, they will what? They will nominate him? They will sign it off? You think they will sign it off? Joseph says, yeah, because he's coming after the bad guys. See, this is why I feel everything is coming back to bite everybody in the tail. Why do I say this? It's biting people like Nancy Pelosi. It's biting people like Joe Biden. It's biting people like Fani Willis. It's biting all of these people that thought they had the upper hand against these so-called, Republicans, against Donald Trump. And who would have thought in a million years that Donald Trump would end up becoming the 47th elected president, okay, and do a second term in office, right? And now, what is Donald Trump doing, in my personal opinion? If you want change and accountability, then we need gas. Whoa. So, okay, Matt, and let me make sure we're on the same page. Doom, Matt, you guys feel, and I'm going to change the poll. I'm glad that you guys came in. I'm going to change the poll. I'm going to change the poll. And it said 93% said Diddy should get bail. No, should not get bail. But I'm going to change the poll. All because of what, if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. Will it let me do it? I'm going to see if I can change the poll for you guys. Let me see if it'll let. It might not let me do it. One moment, you guys. It might not let me do it. No, it's not letting me do it. Okay, I want you guys in the comments to put in. Do you think that Matt Gaetz would be a great attorney general? Do you think that? And C says, because a lot of people go one way doesn't mean it's the right way. And you are absolutely right, C's. I'm going to pin what you just said. And thank you for coming in. Okay, and that's what I'm thinking is happening right now. Because I personally think, I'm going to be very frank and, very honest. I do not feel Matt Gaetz would be a good person to be the attorney general, only because he has so much controversy. He has so much controversy, and it's the type of allegations that are surrounding him. Look at these allegations that's surrounding him, okay? I want you guys to look. Just look for yourself. Misconduct, dealing with minors, illicit drug use, okay? Accepted improper gifts. I mean, think about this. How is it somebody like Donald Trump, who has been convicted of 34 felonies, okay? And let's be honest, those 34 felonies did consist pertaining to dealing with, okay, Stormy Daniels. Okay, let's just be honest. So I don't think Matt would be a good light for Donald Trump. That's my personal opinion. I think Donald Trump needs to have more strong people around him that would not make someone question, okay, what is really going on. And that the legend says all that proven false. Doom says he's in love it. D. Johnson, thank you for coming in. Not sure, honestly. He says, D. Johnson says, like the rest of the cabinet picks, though. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure about Matt, right? And D. Johnson, I'm gonna go off of what you said, right? Because moving forward from Matt Gaetz, I mean, Matt Gaetz, he comes with so much controversy. So much. I mean, I'm just going to give a little bit about Matt. A little bit more about Matt before I move forward. This is the same person. I want people to understand, and give me one moment. I'm going to go back up. This is the same person that has stated, and I quote, he mentioned about he didn't believe. I want to let me make sure I'm right, because I'm not trying to get in trouble. I'm not trying to get in trouble with the. Want to make sure I might pass it. Let me move forward, because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke. Now the next person I want to talk about is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This is the new position that Trump has nominated for health and humanity services. Thank you so much. Tisha says, I'm just trying to go give you the facts. Tisha says, I like Matt. He called them out when they were blackmailing him. His dad wore a wire. And Tisha, you're absolutely right, because I read about that. I'm not going to lie. I read about his father, and I could not believe that his father had wired himself, okay, to secretly record his son, Matt. If you guys don't know who we're talking about, okay, who's Tisha talking about, she's talking about this gentleman right here, Matt Gaetz, who was nominated by Donald Trump to hold the position of Attorney General. And one of the things that I'm going to highlight what you just mentioned, Tisha, in regards to Matt's dad wearing a wire, and Matt did speak on that. Matt Gaetz did speak about that. This is just a lot. And I mean, it is just a lot when it comes down to Matt Gaetz. I mean, I just don't want Donald Trump. How can I say it this way? I'll say it this way. I don't want any more than Donald Trump can bear, right? When I say any more than Donald Trump can bear, people have to understand by the time he leaves office, he will be 82 years old, right? And my question is, do you guys genuinely feel, and I want to be honest, do you guys genuinely feel that if Donald Trump, were to become ill or whatever, do you genuinely feel Matt Gaetz would be the one? Would be the one to work with J.D. Vance to do what he's supposed to do? Because from what I researched, this is the same person. I mean, he likes to throw shots. He likes to throw shots. And when I say he likes to throw shots, he is the same person that I'm reading what I said. Sorry, you guys. He is the same person. Oh, this is what he said. In 2018, he brought a white right-wing activist who had questioned whether or not 6 million Jews actually passed away in the Holocaust. See, these are things that Matt Gaetz talks about that it makes me wonder, is this a good light for Donald Trump? Why would you say something like that? Because that is quote unquote attacking the Jewish community, right? And there's much respect to the Jewish community. It's nothing against the Jewish community, but for Matt Gaetz, that is not a positive light to speak on, a community such as that, because that is very, in my opinion, and you guys let me know if you disagree or not. Okay, I think that's very disrespectful to the Jewish community, right? Some things you need to leave off the table if you don't have your facts, right? And him actually in 2018, questioning whether or how the Jews passed away and all this, I mean, that is irrelevant, okay? Irrelevant and unacceptable. Now, and also, I'll mention this one. These are things that I highlighted with my research. With Matt Gaetz, he stated in 2019 hearing that, G control, he claimed that a wall on the US-Mexico border would save more lives than the policies. Like, his things are just it's just erratic. I'll say it that way. It's very, his way of thinking sometimes, it can be a little too erratic. And that's me being very sensitive, with this topic. Right? Now, also, just some little things about him with Matt Gaetz, right? He stated in regards to the Capitol Police. Let's talk about that. Okay, in 2019, Gaetz led a group of roughly two dozen House members in storming a closed-door deposition of the Defense Department official during the course of Trump's first impeachment inquiry. See, these are things like I feel Donald Trump has. This is the reason he has nominated him to be the Attorney General, because he shows so much support. But it's the way he moves. It's the way he does things, right? He does things kind of, how can I say this? Erratic, right? Sometimes you can be too outspoken. And thank you, people, for coming in. And this is just my personal opinion. Please be respectful. I have, so much respect for you guys in here, just like I have respect for the person that I pinned, Tisha. I respect her views, just like I expect you guys to respect my opinion as well. I'm gonna go back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Hit that like button. Maxwell says, no education detected, opinion rejected. Iris says, why are you? I am not, quote unquote, reading from the New York Times, Maxwell. These are things that I have done. I have put together. Okay. If you are suggesting, I'm not, quote unquote, reading from, quote unquote, New York Times. What you're reading is what I have typed up and what I have done research on. Okay, this is things that I have typed up. I am not your average YouTube content. Okay, these are things that I actually do my research. I actually read. I actually spend the time to type, to highlight, to actually provide pictures, things for people such as yourself. So thank you for coming in and showing support. Thank you. Let's move forward, Iris. And much respect to all people in the chat, and much respect to anybody that shows support. Okay? Because when you come into this chat, you are showing support. And thank you, Iris. And you have a good day. Tisha says, I could have picked someone better for the job, but Trump trusts him. And yes, like I said, I want Trump. You know what I said? My thing is this. With Donald Trump, people can, take it for what it is. At the end of the day, he is what? He is the 47th president, right? People need to move forward, right? People need to move forward in the sense that, okay, Kamala Harris, she's not going to be the president. She's not. It is what it is. So let's move forward. Let's look at the people that Donald Trump is putting into the positions, okay, currently, right? Let's move forward. Let's look at these people that he's put into the position. Now, I will be fair with Matt Gaetz. He's the only one for now that I'm questioning. But when it comes down to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I'm not really questioning, because I saw a lot of critics criticizing Donald Trump nominating him for health and human services. But for me, when I did my research with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I feel that he is the quote unquote, I'm just using this phrase, I feel like he's the quote unquote black sheep of the Kennedy family. I'm just going to be very honest. And people who do not know who Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is, he's one of the relatives of the Kennedy family. Okay, he's the third of 11 children to Robert F. Kennedy. Okay, his father and his uncle John F. Kennedy were both deleted themselves, okay, as subject and has been subject to conspiracy theories. Now, the reason I highlighted this part is because all things that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., okay, has stated, he as well has stated, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read the comments. I apologize, you guys. But when it comes down to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he himself, he stated how, some controversial things. I'll say it that way, right? A lot of controversial things, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., that we're talking about. Now, with Robert F. Kennedy and the picture that I'm showing, I wanted to actually show just how far back Robert F. Kennedy Jr. goes back. This is when he was a little boy. Just imagine standing by your uncle, John F. Kennedy, and he was so young. So with him, and this was Robert F. Kennedy's dad standing by Marilyn Monroe. Now, you guys, look, I'm going to leave that part alone, okay? Because there was controversy between Robert F. Kennedy and John F. Kennedy having a alleged relationship with Marilyn Monroe. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're not going to talk about that today. Now, one thing about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who we're talking about, when I did my research, I didn't see anything that he's done when it came down to the politics, right? But just because he hasn't been in the quote unquote office as far as being Congress, as far as being House of Representatives, that does not mean he has not, been in politics, if that makes sense. Now, let's digress. With Robert F. Kennedy Jr., okay, he was an assistant district attorney in the year of 1982 in Manhattan. Now, that I never knew, right? I never knew. Now, what I did know when it came down to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., that he is a very smart man. He is a very smart man. When I say smart, he's one of those people that I don't know if you guys can concur when I say this. He's one of those people that sometimes somebody can be so smart they can be too smart for their own good. That is where Robert F. Kennedy Jr. stands. And when it comes down with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he has discussed how, he, suffered ADHD as a child. And his views in regards to that, when he was welcomed so early in age with drugs, medications, that was some of the reason he became addicted in his adult years to drugs. So these are the things that comes with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., right? And I'm mentioning this because we have to look at the position that Donald Trump nominated him in. He's nominated to be the quote-unquote Health and Human Services, okay? He's nominated in that department. So with him, he's coming from the aspect, and thank you so much, Tisha. I respect you too. Joe, thank you so much for coming in. And Mrs. Shamrock, why are you laughing? And Maxwell, no, I'm not. Thank you for coming in. Ton says, I'm not showing support. I am not twisting anything, and thank you for coming in. I'm going to move forward with about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., okay, who Donald Trump has nominated, okay, to be part of his administration. Okay, now, with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he has worked, like I stated, I didn't see anything as far as him being, quote unquote, as far as holding a position in the House of Senate or a position in the House of Representatives. Like everything that I noticed, like he would run for it, but he would not get it, or he would withdraw. Now, from 1986 to 2018, he's worked in a number of roles under his school, Pace University, such as supervising attorney, co-director, and a law professor. He has founded several organizations from 1987 to the present, one of them being at his school, Pace University, called the Environmental Litigation in 1987. And I want people to understand the type of lawyer that he is. He is an environmental lawyer. And that's one of the things that I did read. I felt was kind of false narrative. They tried to make it seem as if he didn't have any experience when it came down to scientific research and all of this. But like I stated, if you look up Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he has accomplished a lot of things. But I'm standing on this. I really believe with him, he is, like I stated, the black sheep of the family, because this is the gentleman, okay, when he was running for president, and he did not get the support from the Democrat. He did not get the support from the quote-unquote independent party that he once was, okay? Also, even from his family, they had to release a statement, okay, in disagreement with some things that he had spoke about, okay, during this time, okay? So I want people to understand why I call Robert F. Kennedy Jr., quote-unquote, the black sheep. But just because you're the black sheep, that doesn't mean you disqualify. You are not qualified to be in a position, right, that Donald Trump puts you in. Now, I'm going to talk about some personal things with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and I'm going to mention why I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to be very safe, very, very careful with the topic on his personal, because I feel based off of his personal life, that's why he is the person that he is today in speaking, right? Now, with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's been married 3 times. And if you can look, okay, his first wife, he ended up getting divorced in 1994. Then 3 weeks after that divorce becoming finalized, he ended up marrying another woman named Mary Richardson, okay? They got married from 1994 to 2012. You guys can put it in the comments if you know. Okay, and Mountain says we need to delete the 2-party system and govern ourselves state to state, which we practically do already. Wow, Mountain. Now see, I'm going to pin what you just stated, Mountain Man, because that is one of the reasons that a lot of people feel about what needs to happen moving forward. Because if that wasn't the case, how is it that Donald Trump became president? Right? How is it? Now, I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm not. But we have to put into place, if people did not feel that things should go back to the states more so than the government, then why did they vote for Donald Trump? Because Donald Trump has already put into the roles, and I want to make sure, and Fish, I'm very passionate. That is why. And thank you guys for coming in. I want people to understand. Mrs. Shamrock says states' rights are how it was originally set up. And see, I'm glad, Mrs. Shamrock, you see that, because a lot of people don't understand the foundation of this country. That's how it was set up. And thank you so much, Tisha. Yes, I'm very passionate. Yes. Because a lot of people don't understand how this country was set up. And Double Roses, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. And like I said, people do not realize how this country, and Tisha, I'm going to give you a jacket. Thank you so much. I want people to understand that that's how it was set up. And this is one of the reasons I feel Donald Trump nominated the people that he nominated. I'll say it that way. Why he has nominated certain people in certain roles. Okay. And one of the people that we're talking about right now is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And the reason I'm speaking about his personal life, because it all comes down to where and why he is the way he is now, and why I feel that Donald Trump even put him in the position that he's put him in as far as in the administration, okay? Now, like I stated, with Mary Richardson, that was Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s second wife. As you can see, he married her 3 weeks after his divorce from his first wife was finalized. And this is where it gets sketchy, right? Okay? And this is his second wife, Mary Richardson. I want to talk about her. I have to. Okay? I have to talk about her. Okay? She passed away from finding a journal of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. where he discussed of himself sleeping with 37 different women. Okay? 37 different women while he was allegedly married to her. Now, anybody that knows about Mary Kennedy, I did put a link in my description of this live where Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he did not, he's very honest about himself when it comes down to things. He's very honest, and he doesn't cut no corners. And that's one thing I can respect about him being a man, right? Honesty, right? Being an American, honesty. Now, with Mary Richardson, she was in her later years of their marriage. She began to be very addicted to prescription drugs. She began to be an alcoholic, okay? Now, and then all of this, we got to put into play, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. himself, he was already dealing with, okay, being clean, okay, as far as going through the 12 steps, okay, because if I'm going to go back and discuss, like, he actually was arrested back in 1983 from being in possession with heroin, okay, and during that time, he stated himself, during that time, he went through the stages of cleaning up himself. Tisha says, all 3 times been in independent since 2021. Wow. Mr. Shamrock says, at least he took accountability for his actions. And that's why I say I can respect that, right? I can respect that. And even to the point he talked about it. He talked about his second wife. He was just saying, like, she was a very good mother to their 4 children that they had together. She was a very good mother. But when it came down to, the later years of her life, she started to, go through mental health as well as addictions. And with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he stated that because of his ADHD, he became addicted to drugs at an early age, to the point he became addicted to Aaron, right? And he had to go through a 12-step process. And because of that 12-step process, the 5th step was writing this quote-unquote journal that Mary, his second wife, had found. He stated it. He said it was not bragging rights. He said this was a 5th step process of a 12-step program that he was required to be honest with himself, or in the words of what Mrs. Shamrock said, accountability. So this particular journal that his second wife found of him discussing the 37 different women that he had been sleeping with, or that he slept with while he was married to her, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said it was not him trying to gloat and do all this. He was just writing it down to be honest with his personal demons, to be honest with what he had done, right? Because he said with him and his second wife, he was the one that filed for divorce in 2010, but it was never officially end, okay? And by the time she ended up finding this journal, she ended up, passing away, okay, under her control. I'll say it that way, okay? Under her control. And he was the one that ended up finding her, okay? And he had to actually, in his words, quote unquote, cut her down. You guys can figure the rest out. I'm not going to get too much in detail with that. So I'm stating all this to say Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's been through a lot. He's witnessed, mental health. He's experienced mental health. He's experienced, the uses of drugs. He's experienced, ADHD, how it affects kids, because he said it affected him along the way. And also, he stated that, like I said, what I have highlighted, according to RFK Jr. and reports, Mary in her later years was addicted to alcohol and prescription medications. And I'm going to stroll down, and this is him and his wife, okay, his second wife. Now, we can say a lot of things about as far as him being a womanizer, all that. But one thing I can say, he does have accountability, and he's very honest with himself on things. And I feel a lot of people are not honest with themselves, right? They're not, and that's one thing Robert F. Kennedy said he learned from his 12-step program. And and I want to make sure I spoke about it. This particular quote he spoke about. He said, and this is what he learned, when his second wife passed away, based off of his actions, based off of his actions of constantly cheating, and her finding the infamous, journal where she read that he slept with 37 different women. He stated what he learned from that whole thing was, he said he wants people to understand this. Don't allow what others think of you. Don't allow what others think of you, or do to determine how you live your life, right? I want to repeat that, right? He says, don't allow what others think of you or do to determine how you live your life. And he stated that because of what happened to his second wife, Mary Richardson. She was so upset because of all the things that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was, doing, and, even her personal demons outside of his. She allowed, it to determine her life. So, and Tisha says he knows politics, how corrupt they are exactly. Look at why he's in cabinet position. Big Pharma hates him. Yes. Why? Because I'm reading what Tisha is saying. I'm going to highlight what Tisha is saying, because, and Mrs. Shamrock says, Aaron, I agree. The S language that YouTube pushes minimizes the seriousness of so many things. She is trying to figure out the line. Maybe give her a bit of grace. Yes, give me a bit. Who's saying something, please? And see, that's one thing I don't think people understand when it comes down with YouTube. I have to be very, very careful with things that are discussed because I'm not, yes, thank you, Tisha. I'm not allowed to say certain words. I'm not. And I'm not going to put myself in a position, because see, that's the difference, right? With Robert F. K. Jr., I'll say this. He will say things, right? He will say things and ask questions later. He will, right? Even to the point, his own family, right? His own family, the Kennedy family, they will release a statement and say they don't condone the things that he say, right? Me, I don't have it like that. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I give him much respect, much praise that he would say things and not have no fear. But like I stated, this is YouTube guidelines. I can't say certain things, right? I can't. Now, Mrs. Shamrock says, because he has their Kennedy wallet. You don't. Exactly. I don't have the Kennedy wallet. I don't. And I want people to understand, when it comes down to this gentleman that we're talking about, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he did state in an interview, like, somebody asked him, how is it that you were able to get into Harvard? How is it that you were able to get into Pace University? How is it that you were able to get into these, not Harvard, Yale, these schools? I think it was Harvard. Let me correct myself, Harvard. How was it you was able to get into these schools? And that was one of the first things that he said, you guys. He said Harvard was the legacy. Okay, he said his grandmother went there, his father went there, his uncle went there. He had all these people go there prior to him, right? And he also said he was in the high honors, the high percentile of his school. Okay, but he did say he was part of that legacy. So I say that to say I don't have Kennedy. Okay, I don't have Kennedy leg. I can't say certain things. I can't. Mrs. Jay, thank you so much, Jay. Jay says, haha, Trump will. Why are you laughing? And Aaron, no, I can't. No, I cannot. I cannot say certain things because see what people fail to realize, and this is why Trump is trying to put it back to the states. This is why Trump is not. He is pulling it from the government's hands, federal government's hands. He's trying to, I say it that way, based off the people that he has nominated into the positions. And I want to make sure I show what I'm talking about because I want you guys to actually understand. I want you guys to actually understand the people I'm talking about. Okay. People such as, I just want to be honest, Elon Musk, Vivek, okay? And this is why the Department of Government Efficiency was developed, okay? Now, it has to be approved by Congress, right? But Donald Trump has already put it out there that he does want the Department of Government Efficiency program to come to in air, and he does want Vivek as well as Elon Musk to be over this department, okay, to deal with the restructure of these quote-unquote federal agencies, okay, the government to cut these regulations, okay. These are things that we have to take into perspective. And I want to make sure, in one moment, I want to actually show you guys. One moment. These are actually things I wanted to actually show you. Tulsi Gabbard. She's another person that Donald Trump nominated to be over the defense of national defense. No, the national intelligence, defense of national intelligence. I do agree. Give me one moment. I wanted to actually show it to you guys. Trying to see if I have it. But she's also one person that I feel, you know, he made a great decision. The only thing I kind of got upset about is that she did not get the Secretary of Defense, but one person said maybe they did not want a quote unquote woman to be in that particular role of Department of Defense. And give me one moment. I wanted to actually show you guys. Hold on. I don't want you to see my personal stuff. I don't want you to see my personal things. Because I wanted to actually pull up for you guys the other candidates that he has nominated. And thank you guys for coming in. I always like talking about politics. I really, really do. And give me one moment because I wanted to actually show it. Show what he's nominated, all the people that he has actually nominated so far. One moment. Let me see. Hold on, you guys. And thank you for being patient. Thank you for being patient. Now, if I don't find it, I would do another live, but not today. It may not be today, though. It may not be today. It may not be today. But I wanted to talk about the candidates that he has nominated for his administration. And I'm trying to pull it up, but I don't want you guys to see my personal information. So one moment, you guys, and thank you for being patient with me. One moment. Is it here? Are you here? One moment, you guys. I'm looking. I did this before. Was looking for it. I should have had Tulsa ready for you guys. And HVAC says Tom Hallman is a G. Now, see, yes, Tom Hallman, he's another one. I feel with him, he's not going to play no games. And I feel like with him, he's in the right position, right? He's in the right position that Donald Trump has appointed him in. And this is not the first time he has been, if we guys can remember, part of the Donald Trump administration, because he was part of the Trump administration the first time around, if you guys can remember. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button as I find what I was looking for in regards to all of the candidates that he has nominated as of so far. And please subscribe, share, and hit the like button. Thank you so much. And thank you for being so patient. I am still trying to look for it, you guys. Thank you for being so patient. I think this is it. One moment. Okay. Now, with this particular person, Tulsi Gabbard, with her, I do feel that it was a great, he did make a great decision on nominating her and picking her to be part of the administration. She has fought so hard, to actually be a voice and actually speak up for what some people don't want to speak up in regards about. Okay. And if you guys don't know who Tulsi Gabbard is, I'm going to play a clip where she made headlines, okay? And she made a lot of Democrats very, very upset when she ran for president, okay? During the time Kamala Harris was trying to run for president before, during the Joe Biden, okay, time. I'm going to play a quick clip of where she made the headlines. And she fluffed a lot of feathers. I'll say it that way.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. That would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became...
Now, her response, that to me didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. And yes, Tulsi is great. She is a great candidate, right? My only thing is I wish she could have given her the Secretary of Defense. I really wanted her to have that position. And a lot of people was asking, prior to Donald Trump announcing her position, a lot of people wanted her to have that position, okay, Secretary of Defense, right? But look, I can take whatever Trump is giving out, okay? And yes, look at Kamala Harris. Right? Yes, I love Tulsi Gabbard. I have the utmost respect for her because people do not understand. This lady, she practices what she preaches, okay? She earns what, everything she has fought for. When I say this, I'm not being honest. She has served her time in the military. She has did her time, okay? This is not anybody that's just, they slept their way up, okay? I'm not saying any names. She's not one of those people that slept their way up, okay? Everything that she has accomplished, even now the position that Donald Trump has rewarded her as far as the nomination, she honestly deserves it, okay? Absolutely deserves it. Now, I was trying to actually look for the actual... I'm not going to get myself thrown off like I did before. Give me one moment, you guys. I was actually trying to find the actual list that I had made. I made to actually show the list of people and the nominations. I'm still trying to see if I have it for you guys because I had a whole list. Now, before I move forward talking about the nominations, because I might have to just do it at another live. And thank you guys for coming in. I wanted to talk about, before I end the live, I wanted to talk about, okay, Donald Trump, when it comes down to where are we moving forward? What are we going to do with this trial or the sentencing because it was supposed to be a sentence, but this particular judge, he postponed it again. Okay? And if anybody knows that Trump, he was convicted, okay, back in May of falsifying business records related to $130,000 payment to the P actor Stormy Daniels. Okay, I'm trying to use that phrase very lightly, okay? The actor, Stormy Daniels. And in regards to that, long story short, okay, he was found guilty of 34 counts, okay? And at that point, he became convicted of 34 felonies. And now he was supposed to be sentenced, but they delayed it. Okay, and they delayed it as you can see what I have highlighted. That's why I had to talk about it today, because they have delayed it until tomorrow. Tisha says those charges are a joke. Exactly, Tisha, considering what these other politicians are doing. Okay. But I will say this, nobody's perfect, right? I just wish it could have been dealt with a different way, right? Let me be careful as far as taking sides, because I don't want people to think I'm like Republican and Democrat and independent and all. I want to be I want to be, fair and, partial, right? So I do feel the way it's looking as if they're trying to find a reason, they don't like Trump, but you have to take your personal feelings out of it. Okay. What are the policies, right? How has your prior president, Joe Biden, right? How has he helped America? How has your vice president helped America, right? Because these are things you have to put into place. You have to put this into place. And I think the way this case was done in these cases, that's been going on and that they have been postponed since he's, became president, is seeming as if people are trying to find a reason for him not to, be in politics. They're trying to find a reason. Now, some people say, yes, he's a convicted felon. I'm not, yes, he was found guilty, 34 felonies. Yes, I agree, whatever. Okay. But my thing is this. Why hasn't he been sentenced? Why do they continue to postpone things? Even here in Georgia, right? The trial here in Georgia has been postponed. The trial in Florida has been dismissed. The trial in Washington, D.C. has been postponed. So my whole thing is, if Trump, even in New York, the trial went through, he was found guilty. Why is this gentleman that we're speaking of right here, this judge, why is he delaying things, right? You have to take things, you have to see it for what it is. And my thing is, if you are so sure that this gentleman, Donald Trump, is so guilty of what they're saying he's guilty of, then why not go ahead and move forward with the sentencing process? Why not go ahead and move forward with these trials that he has against him in these different states? Why prolong things? And my reason is, the reason that they're prolonging things, you guys can call me out in the comments, all right? You guys can call me out. And HVAC says, not only that, I'm going to go back up. What HAV said. HVAC said, he or she said, not only that, they changed the statute of limitations to charge him on this case. Exactly. Why? See, people get upset with me when I say certain things, but my thing is, okay, if Trump, okay, we can all have our opinions on this, right? And our views on this, right? As far as the things that Donald Trump has done and that he's been found guilty of, right? In the court of law. Yes. Okay. But you have to ask yourself these questions, right? Why are they doing certain things? And even HVAC said it in the comments. Not only that, but they changed the statute of limitations to charge him. And then even moving forward, they are even trying to threaten the Supreme Court of Justices, right? They're trying to threaten them. But see, my whole thing is, if people feel how they feel about Donald Trump, ask yourself these questions. How was it he was able to win and become president to be the 47th president? Then how is it, okay, and why is it they changed the statute of limitations? Like, hey, I'm going to highlight what he or she just said. Why? Ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself these questions. Because I believe that you're innocent until proven guilty. But I also believe that if you're going to find somebody and quote unquote find them being, guilty for this and that, have it be a fair reason, like justified evidence, right? Justified. But if we look at everything that's been going on in the different states, it seems as if it's personal. It seems like it's a personal matter, right? But what happened to speaking and being the voice for the people? What happened to that? That's just my opinion. Look, don't get me. I'm just, that's just my opinion. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to go into the comments. Edward, thank you so much. Edward says, do you have solid proof yourself that he's guilty? Because if you don't, you need to stop spewing. That's why I'm saying, Edward, that's why I'm just like, if he's so guilty, right? If Trump is so guilty, my thing is this. I'll bring it back. I will bring it all the way back. If you're gonna find Donald Trump guilty on all charges, in all the four trials and states, this person needs to be found guilty as well. And I discussed it. Everybody who is affiliated with the Fulton County Jail and Fulton County for the Fulton County Jail to be in the position and the unconstitutional conditions that it is in. Everybody needs to go and be found guilty then. That goes for Fonnie Willis. That goes for Sheriff LaBotte. I'm calling these people out. Calling them out. And everybody who works at the Fulton County Jail, I want to make sure you hear me when I say this. If you are a correctional officer at the Fulton County Jail and you have been working there all during this time and witnessing people pass away, witnessing people not eating right, witnessing rodents, pests, all of this, you need to be removed. Removed. Because if these are the same people, I'm going to be very frank when I say this. These are the same people that want to call this man out Donald Trump. These are the same people that call him a criminal. But watch this. I'm going to bring it back. Donald Trump then put this man in a mental health cell unit, okay, and put him in a cell that looked like this. That looked like this and left him in this cell for 3 months to be malnourished. Donald Trump didn't do that. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, Donald Trump wasn't even president in 2022. He wasn't. This man passed away in 2022. He was found, okay, covered in lice in a cell, okay? So Donald Trump didn't do this, but why is it people do not want to hold themselves accountable for the discriminatory injustice that they do in their local government? They're so busy and so fast to point out, and I want to make sure I show this, they're so busy and so fast to point out what people like this person, Donald Trump, does. But they don't want to point out what their local government is doing or not doing. See, worry about the glass. I'm gonna end this live on this note, and I thank you guys for coming in. I'm gonna say it this way, okay? And the next live, I will try to do another live today. I'm not gonna make no promises because I want to be a woman of my word, a person of my word, okay? I'm going to break it down with some more of the positions that Donald Trump, the people that Donald Trump has appointed, and we have to talk about it. Why? Because whether people like it or not, guess what? Donald Trump is your 47th president, right? Deal with it. Deal with it. It's not going to be Kamala Harris. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Can we all move forward? If you agree, you can support this chat. You can support this channel with the super sticker. You can hit that like button. You can share. You can actually put a comment or replay this live, okay? And don't skip the ads, right? If you support this channel. But I want you guys to understand, okay? And we have to be on the same page. At the end of the day, your president is Donald Trump. Okay? If you don't like it, talk to your local government. Talk to your Congress. Talk to your House of Representatives. Right? Talk to them. Talk to your mayor. Talk to your neighbor. These are people that you need to talk to. Please do that. And like I stated, I will try to do a lot of the live today. If I don't, it will be back on normal programming tomorrow morning between 6 a.m. and 7-ish a.m. Eastern time in America, okay? We will discuss other key people that have been appointed by Donald Trump. Oh, one more thing I forgot to talk about this gentleman. I have to talk about this gentleman before I go. Have to. I have to talk about this gentleman before I go. This gentleman, I found it. Look, I found it. But I have to talk about this gentleman right here before I go, ladies and gentlemen. Rudy Giuliani. His lawyers are free. Thank you, Jesus. All right. I say that because last Friday, he did provide the possessions that he was supposed to send or bring over to in regards to that $148 million lawsuit that he lost in regards to defaming the former 2 election workers in Georgia. Okay. He did finally hand over some things. Now, with Rudy Giuliani, the funny part about this, before I go, I have to talk about it. Because I didn't talk about it this weekend. I was supposed to go live this weekend, but I didn't. Okay. But I want to talk about Rudy Giuliani. His lawyers, they were just fed up with him. They tried to actually request to withdraw I think 2 days before Friday. They wanted to recuse themselves from representing Rudy Giuliani, right? And this is the reasons that they wanted to recuse themselves. And I'm wondering, are they officially done with are they officially done with Rudy Giuliani? Because with Rudy Giuliani, he handed over some of his, I think majority of his possessions. They say he handed over the Mercedes-Benz that he actually drove up to go vote in Florida in. Yes, well, his driver drove him to go vote. He handed that Mercedes-Benz over. In addition, he handed over things that was in the storage, as well as his condo in New York. And also, in addition to the condo in Florida, I still have to do my research on that because he was still trying to fight that. But I wanted to make headline and news that he did officially start handing over possessions, because that was the whole argument and the deadline that he was supposed to start handing stuff over by last Friday. Otherwise, he would be put in contempt of court. Now, his attorneys, Rudy Giuliani's attorneys, they got so scared of this contempt of court because Rudy Giuliani, according to him, he doesn't have money. And also he has actually put out a fund asking for money. Okay. According allegedly to him, he doesn't have enough money to feed himself. So what his attorneys do 2 days before Friday last week, okay, he stated that his lawyer stated that on the grounds, right, they wanted to withdraw from the case in Manhattan on the grounds that they said Rudy Giuliani he kept insisting upon taking action with which the lawyers, they were in disagreement with him about. They said their client insists upon presenting a claim or defense that is not warranted under existing law. They said Rudy Giuliani failed to cooperate in the representation or otherwise renders the representation unreasonably difficult for the lawyers to carry out their employment effectively. Like, these are things that they just, throw out. They're like, just in case this don't work out, we just want to just drop out. We want to withdraw ourselves. And Rudy Giuliani, his spokesperson said they didn't even know that Giuliani's attorneys was trying to withdraw. They didn't even know. So I say that's why I titled this, I titled it, Rudy Giuliani lawyers are finally free from this havoc. And I'm going to read the comments. Mrs. Shamrock says, double tap. She also says so he turned over the Benz. Yes, he turned over. He turned over the Benz. Chase H says, can you cover if cats truly have 9 lives? Chase, are you trying to throw shots at Donald Trump? Mrs. Shamrock says, there is no way the court would have allowed the attorneys to withdraw at that point in the case. Exactly. Narendra says, if Rudy is starving, then Diddy is innocent. And Chase H, let me finish what you said. I'm going to go back to what you said. I didn't read all what you said. Chase H says, my friend got paralyzed from the waist up, which is a blessing because he's a professional dancer. Wow. My prayers goes out to your friend, who got paralyzed from the waist up, but at the end of the day, you have to keep, you can't give up on yourself, no matter what things you go through, what circumstances come your way every day. The key of the note is you have to keep moving forward, right? And thank you guys for coming in. Shout out to Narendra. Shout out to Mrs. Shamrock. Shout out to Chase H. Shout out to especially Art of War. Thank you. Shout out to Tisha. Yes. Shout out to HVAC. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to I Am Jacob. Shout out to, I'm going up in the comments. Shout out to, I gotta keep going up. Shout out to Jay Rice. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Double Roses. Shout out to, it's a lot of people. Shout out to everybody in the live. Thank you guys for coming in. And before I want to make sure I cover everything because, see, this is how I messed myself up before. I want to make sure you also remember this, right? Think about this today. Ask yourself, what is it that you do daily that impacts you and others daily? Me, myself, I try to do something, right? Even if you don't see me on the live, I'm doing my research. I'm trying to better myself and try to be a better productive person as far as being able to speak and talk to you guys, right? Because I think you guys will understand that is, that I've came a long way considering where I was before, as far as, doing lives, because I was very not comfortable even speaking, let alone I'm taking baby steps. Also, I say this when it comes down to what is it that you do daily that impacts you? This is how you guys help impact me, right? You guys impact me by actually, motivating me to, do lives and not give up and, actually get, do something, be productive, right? And last but not least, you guys help me as far as dealing with my fear. Yes, I do have a fear of speaking. I know it doesn't sound like it. I know it doesn't sound like it. People don't believe, but it is true. I've came a long way. If you know, you know. So I want you guys to think about that. What is it that you do daily that impacts you and others daily, right? So I thank you, Narendra and Mrs. Shamrock. I Am Jacob, Tisha. I thank you guys. You guys are an impact to me. You guys may not know, and that's one thing I want people to understand. When you go out in the world, ask yourself, how do you play a factor in other people's lives? Because how you treat people and what you do, that will, that can change somebody's life, even if you're just saying hello or how are you doing? You might be that only person that has spoken to them all week, or you might be the only person that's spoken to them all day, right? So just think about that, moving forward for this week. What is it that you do daily that impacts you and others daily? That's my motivational, notation that I want you guys to think about. Right? And thank you so much for coming in. And the last note, I always do this at end of every live. 4 things I want you guys to remember. I always say, eliminate the ill, focus on the present, focus on self and not of others. And tell yourself, I will learn something new every day. I will not get upset at what I don't have control of. And advocate for yourself, because if you don't, who will speak up for you? And this is Politic Graham. Thank you guys for coming in. I will see you guys either today later on or tomorrow morning at, the normal time, between 6 a.m. Eastern time and 7 a.m. ish Eastern time. That's when I start the live. And thank you so much. Peace. Always have a peace of mind and always be in peace. This is Politic Graham. Bye.